Welcome back to the official GeekSpeak Podcast, which for the record we stand with the WGA here, WGA Strong. This is the 37th episode, and I'm your host, Sean, and joined as always is my co-host, Josh Floor Hater. The dog days are all gone, Rudy Rudolph. This is the podcast where we watch movies, make movies, play games, and more. What else can you ask for? Also, happy belated birthday to Josh. His birthday was on April 28th. We didn't do an episode around then, but here it is. Happy birthday.
Whoa, thank you. Also, I don't hate floors. Also, watch Guardians 3 so you can get the reference.
You hate floor. I'm not going to say another word about that, but you do.
How dare you?
You also hate Teefs.
How dare you?
How have you been?
I've been good. I've been tired. I've been working a lot. Just adulting. You know how it is.
We last recorded April 3rd, 2023. It is currently May 7th, 2023.
It's been a bit.
And our last episode is going out today. That we recorded based on the previous 2 weeks to do. So it's been a while. So our news, it's going to be a lot. This episode can be a news dump, as we've done a few times now, catching us up to speed, talking about what's happened in the past month or so. So we do have our DCOM still. We don't have main segment now. We don't have a super weird story to make time for how long is it going to be in terms of our news discussion. But most episodes we go to a different Disney Channel original movie, or DCOM for short, because Disney Channel DCOM, and we see how in a short period of time, the biggest company for media on Earth, we see how they cater towards solely children with their DCOMs, but we have a pretty large sample size, and we go through seeing quality changes, etc., in a short period of time. So today is not an exception to that. For once, we're actually doing it again.
Whoa!
And we actually watched one. The DCOM was called Mom's Got a Date with a Vampire. When I told my girlfriend that, she said, "You didn't watch it with me?" Apparently she loved it. So, like as a kid, she watches one a lot as a child, which I've heard a lot now. People actually do know this one. We have reached a DCOM, Josh, where people have watched.
Weird.
Which is weird. Also, I have asked you before in the past, watch anything good lately? But today I'm asking you, have you watched anything good lately not in theaters?
Not in
and not
theaters.
With me. I showed you recently Galaxy Quest for the first time.
Yes, that was fun.
That was very fun. Was it surprising to you seeing Rainn Wilson as an alien?
Yes, but it was fun.
You watched Nice Guys with me. You showed me that movie because it was your birthday and we watched that together.
Yeah.
I'd never seen it before.
No.
I still love the line, "I was questioning the mermaids." I think that's my favorite line.
I rewatched Midsummer. I haven't seen it since I saw it in theaters, and I had very mixed feelings on it when I originally saw it. But now that I've grown up and I've gotten a lot more cinema literate, I can say it is a good movie. I'm still not the biggest fan of the ending, but overall it is very good.
I watched Over the Hedge since last recorded. I've also watched Easy A. I've rewatched Zombieland, rewatched Perks of Being a Wallflower, the D&D movie, which I saw in theaters, but it was still fun. And I watched Good Will Hunting again, which is the movie that made me a filmmaker, so that's cool seeing it again. Yeah. If you came from last episode thinking this episode would be about the Mario movie, like it was supposed to be, that was...
Things
changed.
changed.
Came out a month ago. Yeah. Because we watched the old OG Mario movie to watch the real one, the next one, next. But then a lot has happened since then. We figured this would be a better use of our time. Like this weekend, Guardians 3 came out.
Yes, it did.
And we'll get into that soon a little bit, but briefly, because again, we don't have time to have a whole episode about Guardians 3 right now. We'll see what happens next week. If we're actually on time next week, then maybe we'll talk about it. Who knows? We watched a Disney Channel original movie this week. I had a lot of notes. It's called Mom's Got a Date with a Vampire from the year 2000 still, which is impressive. Now, if you follow our podcast, you know we watch a different one every week from the beginning of time until now, that being the 90s. That's when time started.
Correct.
And we see changes, etc., but we also have had to skip now 2 of them. The very first one we've had to skip, which is Under Wraps from 1998.
Which got remade recently, and it also has a sequel now.
Which is so funny, because we still can't find the first one.
Nope.
But we also just had to skip now Me Inside of Me, or the Me Who Thinks, something like that.
I think it was The Other Me, which is funny because when I looked it up of what was next, it was on Disney+. Then when we were going to go to watch it, it wasn't there anymore.
It's just for us. They wanted to torment us.
How dare
not having
they?
it there. If we can find it, we'll go back to it. If you guys have a link to it in totally legal site way.
In a legal site way, I don't do the pirating.
Yeah. If you have a link, if you have a way for us to watch that, we'd love to go back and watch it. Because we don't enjoy skipping around. We did for Halloween Town because it was for Halloween, but we're not gonna do that even for holidays anymore. We're gonna leave it so because it feels like it's just too much of a weird jump in time to actually get a good gauge of how things are evolving.
Yes.
But we watched Mom's Got a Date with a Vampire, which the title is true.
She definitely had a date with a vampire.
And I love that it wasn't about her dating. It was literally about the one date.
Yeah.
I like that a lot. So I was afraid to be like, okay, now she has a boyfriend. Now they're, I thought it was going to be like the stepsister. I thought it was going to be like the movie Stepsister from Planet Weird. How it kind of dragged out the whole relationship in the movie. I'm like, oh, I like that's just the one date. For better or worse. Things can go wrong. They can go haywire. You never know. But Josh, what happens in this movie?
Let's see what happens. You got...
Because you watched it today, right?
Yes. So you got...
Okay.
You got middle school boy. He's like 12, 13. He's into monsters and other teenage stuff. He's also got, very baggy clothes because that was the cool thing to do in the early 2000s. Not important to the character. Just thought I would mention it. And he can't go on his report because he didn't do his report. So he started reading from a tabloid newspaper about vampires. And Mama, she is single, she is sad, she can't handle all the kids and everything, so the kids set her up, and this is also a weird facet of time, by answering an ad in the newspaper for single men looking to date, and send the guy an email saying, hey, our mom is sad and horny, we want her to get laid, and...
That's not what they wrote.
It's not what they wrote, but it's what they implied.
If kids want to listen to this podcast, actually, you shouldn't listen to this podcast. Never mind, go on.
And then you see a coffin open up and a guy start typing out of said coffin, which just makes you wonder, like, is he, like, leaning up to look, or did he just do that for a dramatic effect for no one that was in the room? But that's besides the point. So a vampire answers the email, because, vampires email. And one thing leads to another, mom starts going on...
vampires email!
Look, they may sleep in coffins, but they know what technology is.
Would they even using AOL at the time? Probably. There was not enough dial-up sounds in this.
No, but maybe it was like for legal rights or something. I don't know. But vampire meets mom in the supermarket. There's also a weird guy with a fedora, and he's suspicious. Turns out that's Van Helsing, and Van Helsing is American, which seems odd, but all right, I'll go for it. And
I think he's a descendant of the original Van Helsing. Like, he's part of the same family.
Okay, that makes more sense. But then small younger brother, he sees British man turn into vampire. He's just like, whoa, vampire. And the family's like, no, you dumb small child. There's no vampires. And
you dumb small child.
And then on the first day, and then on the day begins, they bring the small child to the parent. It's just like, small child's being dumb. He thinks you're a vampire. And they do a fake spoon test to fool said child into being like, I'm not a vampire. Then younger brother looks in the mirror and sees, whoa, the spoon test was a lie. He is a vampire.
You have gone through so much.
Correct.
I just said, what is it about? And you're like, no, here's the whole movie.
Look, it's a weird one. I'm not going to give away everything because there's also not a lot to give away. But brother tries to prostitute sister for tickets. Vampire goes on singing dates, dancing. He walks up walls. Coffins get stolen. It's a weird movie.
So, let's backtrack a little bit from all of this, Josh. I feel like I just let Josh loose, and he just was telling his mom about the last thing he watched. Like, that's good, honey. Whatever you say. Oh God, yeah. There's a lot here to unpack. What's the main kid's name?
Adam.
Adam. Okay. He is, I think, he's 13. Make a point of that. He says he's 13. People keep thinking he's 12, which is, I hate that trope. I'm thinking, it's 8-year-old kid. I mean, I'm 10. I'm like, shut up. That's not the point. He's obsessed with vampires and movies and like horror, and that's kind of fun. Not like horrific horror, just like spooky kind of stuff.
Yes.
I want to point out that Linda Fletcher from Phineas and Ferb, the mom of Phineas and Ferb, is the mom in this, which is amazing. I also she gets to sing in this and the show. We'll get into that soon. So the movie opens with this, which I love. This movie's opening, actually.
At first, I was just like, "Wait, is this what the caliber of acting is going to be throughout the whole thing?"
Right?
Oh no,
because it has spoofs kind of old like hokey vampire movies, and it does it by basically just doing a really bad was like really annoying. Like, it's like, this PD is terrible. These costumes are so bad. And then we zoom out and you can see the CRT TV screen, and it's a kid watching that movie, an old vampire movie. And like, that's fun. But here's the thing I don't like. His sister's rude.
Yeah.
Like, this scene, the house phone rings. Yes, we had home phones. And it's a cordless phone. He's watching a movie. And he's asked nicely, hey, would you mind going somewhere else with that? Because it's a cordless phone.
You could go to other places in the house. That's why it was invented.
And then she just grabbed the remote and muted the TV. He's like, what the hell? He wasn't being rude by asking you to.
That's how you get your diary read.
That was Josh. Is that a threat?
No, I'm saying that's how it worked at that age.
It was just very odd to me. It's like, this is a weird conflict to even have. Could be like, yeah, no problem, and walked away. Like, that was bizarre. Or just add a cord to the phone and then make the conflict make more sense. You know, all you had to do is make the phone not cordless. That's literally it. Also, I wrote, God damn, the internet was so slow. I'm glad we live today.
Yeah, like I was like, are they doing that for dramatic effect? I was just like, no, that was how it was back then.
Also, the browsers were terrible.
Yeah.
Print was one of the buttons in the browser, which I thought was very funny. Early 2000s fashion sucks. Baggy, bright colored clothes, gelled up hair, and the necklace he wore. I'm like, this is amusing. It's like he was in the Scooby-Doo live action movie on the island to me. They mentioned the Harvest Festival because I guess it's harvest time. It's fall. And I'm like, is this Pawnee, Indiana? Where is my Leslie Knope? All I thought about with Harvest Festival. One of my early notes about this, actually, and I say it true throughout, but I questioned a few times because the cinematography in this is actually really good, but the lighting sucks.
Yeah, like the way shots are framed and the way the camera moves, like actually has thought put into it, but it very clearly has like that quick like DCOM like vibe to it. Just like, we don't have much time to shoot this, so just fully light everything so you can tell where everything is, and then go on and read lines.
It's like, we will only use the house lights. That's it. It's like, cool. This is not the best situation to use.
Which, like, if you're shooting like a sitcom, then fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But for a movie, you gotta add a bit of dynamic lighting here and there, especially for a movie that, is meant to be watched around Halloween.
Yeah, that was one of the bigger issues. Also, the vampire guy was just the most boring ass man in the world.
At first, when you meet him in the supermarket, like, he's got a bit of charm to him. He's good at flirting. But then afterwards, just like, man, there's really nothing to this dude.
It's a different character. Also, he was wearing like a blue polo shirt in that scene, and he's like, after that point, it's like all black. It's like, you could have just, I don't know, bizarre. Maybe hide it more. Like, there was the Stuckies out of the supermarket where they meet with Josh mentioned earlier that the children sold their mom off so much to go on a date, and it was a very bizarre situation to have.
By answering an ad in the newspaper for it, like, and I guess this was a thing of like, because dating sites hadn't become a thing yet, so you would just, I guess, post in the newspaper like it was Craigslist. I don't know.
One notes about that was, why in the world did the man actually go to a children's response? Because they said it's for their mom. Imagine being an adult man, vampire or not, and thinking, I'm gonna go to where these children say, this will end well.
It's an odd one, to say the least.
It's an odd choice. It's an odd choice for a DCOM to make, like, as the writer. And there's more of that later on with the littlest kid invites a grown man to their house, and the babysitter's like, yeah, cool. It's a very bizarre situation to see. It's like teaching kids, yeah, this is okay. Trust adult men. These grown men who are in their 40s or 50s. Yep, this is a good plan.
He says he kills vampires for a living, so obviously invite him into your house.
Also, you brought up earlier that the main kid, Adam, had to write a paper he didn't do about who he admires most. He was picked on in class to present this paper, which he didn't have prepared. And honestly, who I admire most about a vampire hunter is at least interesting.
It's not at all what you would expect, but I'd be like, all right, let's see what you got, kid.
Also, if he's going to BS through it, at least let him finish it instead of like the 2 minutes. Because, like, you never know. He might have turned out to do an amazing oral paper for you. You just let the guy finish. I was excited to hear what he was going to say about this whole, like, where's your thesis statement? Where's your conclusion? I want to hear the structure. Also, because he didn't do his paper, and the school, weird thing, the school called his mom for him not doing a paper. Bizarre thing. Like, just called their house phone because he didn't do a paper. And not like, hey, calling the school, let you know he has attention. That's it. Just he didn't do his homework. Really weird thing to do. That's not how schools work.
No.
But in doing so, his mom grounds him. And there's one thing I don't get behind. Grounding kids is fine, I guess. Whatever. They do their own thing. That's fine. My thing is, as a future parent to be at one point in my life, hopefully, I am never in favor of grounding kids if grounding removes once in a lifetime events. Like if a kid was going to go to prom but they were grounded, I feel like the grounding should happen up until the prom, and then go to prom, have fun, and then come back and they're grounded again.
Yeah, like the kid literally like makes a deal with his mom. He's just like, this is a once in a lifetime thing. Instead of grounding me for that one day, ground me for the whole week afterwards. I will gladly take no video games, no TV. Just let me go to this one thing.
And because like you can still learn your lesson and get your punishment or whatever, while also not losing a core memory of your life. Like that's so stupid. And I understand the parent's point of view of like, but if I make a deal, they'll never learn. They'll maybe act like you respect your children enough to understand where they're coming from as well. Because kids make mistakes, as do you. Like that's a dumb thing. After that point, to try, because the sister also wanted to go out and be with a boy and stuff, and wasn't going to be able to. They made a plan. The plan was to get their mom out of the house. Like, okay, they answered the newspaper ad, and they got their mom a date that night of the Harvest Festival, where where the kid wanted to go to this concert, and also where the girl wanted to go on a date. They got it all lined up. Next day, they guilt tripped her so fucking much about how life was better when you were dating someone when you weren't single. It was so fucked up.
This movie has a weird view on relationships.
It was like at breakfast. It was like, I miss how life was before when we weren't divorced. It's like, God damn. You think she chose this? Like, this is a weird stance to take on divorce. And it was really funny because they were like, I miss when we had pancakes. It's like, I could make pancakes for you all. No, with chocolate chips. And she's like, I'm sorry. It was like, it's the small thing. Like, God damn, just be nice to your mom. What has she done wrong to you?
Hey, Mom, remember when you were married to Dad?
Yeah, what of it? Life was better.
Like, it'd be one thing if it was like a genuine, like, they wanted their mom to be happy again, and so they did that. But no, they do it for selfish purposes, which feels wrong.
It's all kind of fecked up in Banshees now.
You're not in Ireland.
And then moving on, they actually arrange this meeting for the mom to meet someone at a supermarket. They see a guy. The description of the man was suave, debonair, man of the world, travels a lot, stuff like that. And they see the sister says, suave, debonair, man of the world. He was probably making the whole thing up. And then they see a man walk up in a trench coat and fedora. And then she says, that is so the guy. I'm like, what? Why is that your...
I get, like, your children, but, like, that's... Even, like, at 12, that shouldn't scream, like, that man's seen the world.
I just love it. The trench coat and a fedora. He is so the guy. He is suave, debonair. That was amazing. But the guy in the polo is the real guy. I like that the trench coat guy was Van Helsing. I like that he was actually the vampire hunter that he was the vampire hunter at the beginning of the movie Adam talked about in class.
Yeah.
Without knowing it.
He's also kind of bad at his job.
Who was he calling? Who was he talking to? So the vampire hunter makes calls saying, "Yeah, the vampire's in the area. I knew he's here. I didn't know where yet." Who was he talking to on the phone?
The Secret Society of Vampire Hunters, of course.
He's reporting to someone. It was like, aren't you the hunter? Who are you reporting to?
Maybe he's reporting to Hugh Jackman's Van Helsing. Maybe that's
Why
how.
are you dressed like Dick Tracy? This was so bizarre. This movie irks me in weird ways.
I will say, though, compared to Quince, I will happily take this over that any day of the week.
Quince was a bizarre movie.
It was a thing.
It's just sketch that the dude even came to the meetup knowing the kid started it still. That's just a sketch thing.
Yeah, I get the idea, like, he's a vampire, so, like, nothing can touch him, but even still, like, no, don't do that, dude.
Because, like, if anyone finds out, and it's a public place, you'll have everyone there, like, it could be get out, that could be a problem fast. What do? Murder the entire room? Actually, you might. We've seen Renfield. This is just a bizarre time, right?
It's a weird one, to say the least.
But then they go on the date. The vampire and the mom, they go on a date after she's hesitant. One thing I like about his mom a lot is she knows who she is and what she wants in life.
Yeah.
She likes to be herself, and I really like that.
That was honestly like my favorite part of it, because by the end of the date, she kind of realizes, because she gets to like sing again and like have fun, like something she hasn't gotten to do, and she's just like, that's what I want to be, like more so myself. I don't really need someone else in my life at this time. Like that's very mature.
And not like she's against dating one. She's like, we just didn't click, and that's great. And I love that. It was my favorite moment in the whole movie when she says that we just didn't click, and that's okay. That was great. I will say on the date, they have a date at a restaurant and stuff, and it's all nice. The waiter offers garlic bread, and of course she says no, but he barks no at her, like screams it, and that's when on a date I would have just walked out. If you treat waitstaff badly, I will never talk to you again.
Yeah, like even with this being like a vampire story, it's just like you can't be like the least bit subtle, dude.
It's like, no. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna leave now. You're insane. Also on that, like you said earlier, the kids came to the restaurant to see their date. Adam, main kid, noticed the mirror, saying that he doesn't have a reflection in the date. How many double takes did this kid fucking do?
He took so
back
many.
And forth. He looked at and it was like a solid minute of him looking at the mirror and then back at the guy, looking at the mirror, back at the guy, saying, "You were really emphasizing the fact that this is not in the mirror." It was a weird time. I will say this movie had one really good line, or at least one good line delivery. It will make no sense out of context, but the way he said to the mom that she has a fire inside her, and his line next was saying, "I think it might be time to let that fire burn." That's a good line.
That is a good line.
It was a great delivery too. I wish every moment could be that good as a delivery, but he was just kind of bland.
Yeah,
and I think it's interesting because they had to make up new vampire lore because they couldn't have him do actual vampire stuff because it's a kids movie.
Yeah,
like he can walk on walls. That's interesting. Why? No reason. Like, can vampires do that? And the kid's like, yeah, why not?
Sure.
I also love the detail that when Adam told his sister that in the mirror he couldn't see the reflection, the sister was like, yeah, I believe you. It took a minute, but I love in any kind of horror or spooky media where someone actually believes someone's saying something crazy. Like in Lights Out, the boyfriend believes her, and it's my favorite moment in the whole movie. It subverts that so well. Like, yeah, maybe the person you've been dating or known your entire life or for months or whatever isn't just fucking lying to you all of a sudden. Not everything in the world is black and white.
Yeah, it's nice.
Or at least go with them to see what they're talking about. That was I liked that.
Yeah, it's just like if someone is like that you've known for a while is like acting like this and saying these things, just like, okay, something is going on. I don't know if it's like as crazy as what they're saying is, but something's going on.
At one point, I had to turn captions on to make sure I heard it right, and I did. What the fuck is rockabilly music?
I have no idea.
There's a line I feel like I'm talking about rockabilly music, because apparently the mom in this has a secret past as a singer, which is the same thing as a Phineas Ferb.
Yeah.
And I think and they all know who she is there. So she was a rockabilly singer who was well known, and it's something that she has given up, maybe since having kids, just like in Phineas and Ferb. And I find that very bizarre. My thought is, Dan Povenmire or Swampy Marsh saw this and said, let's do that again. My favorite line in the whole movie, but not the delivery, but favorite line was, I'm 13, and I'm a vampire. He just kept saying, do you not get it? I'm a vampire. And I was like, what is this movie happen? The third act, this is so bad.
The third act is kind of like where it like falls apart.
It's just like in the Boogeyman one, the Under the Bed, whatever it was.
Yeah.
The first two acts, kind of fun time, really good vibes. And the end is like, why? Same here. It's just the vampire also doesn't do a lot. Like he kind of just stands around and let things happen. Also, the sister says to Adam, the main brother, I don't care what anyone else says. You're all right. It feels so weird here because you're siblings, not someone you've just met, and no one has said a single thing bad about him in this movie. It's like, I don't care what anyone else says. You're all right. You've known me my whole life. What is this? What is happening? The response should be, what are people saying about me? He doesn't respond to it. It just, There's a lot of weird lines, like weird moments like that where just something happens and nothing ever acknowledges it. I'm like, I'm moving on. The line, what is it with his family? Don't you get it? You're kids. I'm a vampire. And then the main kid goes, yeah, right. What do you mean, yeah, right? Everything you said is factually correct. And you're well aware of this at this point. This movie is so bizarre. Do you give this film overall, Josh, a yay or a nay?
I'll give it a yay. I honestly had fun with it.
I want to give it a yay, but I won't. Because I'm so confused by so many things. And not in interesting ways. Just things like your kids, I'm a vampire. Yeah, right. It's like, there's a lot of lines like that. Just like, how did you get past the scripting stage? I'm so confused. Or the end line, one of the last lines in the movie is the Van Helsing ends up going on a date with the mom. Because, it's a better option, I guess, because she has to have two options. And he says to her, have you ever tried them with chocolate chips? Referring to pancakes? First off, everyone in the world has. Second off, you're like in your 40s. Why are you suggesting this to a grown woman? This is a bizarre scenario. I am confused by everything happening, but I'm glad I watched it. Like, I don't know, man. Where do you rank this one?
Okay,
I'll just say above or below. I'm gonna say movie, okay?
Okay.
You Lucky Dog, above or below?
Below.
Brink.
Slightly below.
Halloween Town.
Equal footing.
Xenon, Girl of the 21st Century.
Above.
Can of Worms.
Below.
13th Year.
I don't know.
I love how this is so hard for you. Because guess what, Josh? What we say here does not matter. Next week it will all change again anyway.
True.
13th Year, is this above or below that?
I'll put it below.
Halloween Town 2, Calabar's Revenge.
Slightly below.
Johnny Tsunami.
Above.
Smart House.
Slightly below.
Genius.
Below.
Don't Look Under the Bed.
That's a tough one.
Why would you ever say that movie was so much fun?
Yeah, I'll go for below.
Horse Sense.
Above.
Up and Away.
Above.
Color of Friendship.
Below.
Alley Cat Strike.
Above.
Rip Girls.
Above.
Miracle on Lane 2.
Below.
Stepsister from Planet Weird.
Did we watch that one?
Yeah.
I don't remember any of it.
It's the bubble people. Remember the gas bubbles?
I completely forgot about that. Above.
That was like our last two ones. And Quince.
Above. So I guess Stepsister left the least impact on me out of all of them.
See, it's funny to me, because for me, I would say either Rip Girls or Alley Cat Strike left the least impact on me.
I at least remember small things from those. I don't remember a thing from Stepsister until you said the bubble people.
I think you remember more if I described it a little. Like, remember the freeze gun and the weird, like, the spiritual woman who was next to her, and how the divorced dad was like at the wedding. Remember that stuff?
Honestly, not really.
We should watch it again, Josh.
I would prefer not to.
I would say this is below like half of these. I think I enjoyed Horse Sense the least, but I remember it a lot. And that's not a good thing.
It's not a good thing.
I had someone on a TikTok recently say that Horse Sense was one of their favorites of all DCOMs, and I had concerns.
That is...
If you love Horse Sense, that's great for you. We did not vibe with it.
It's so boring. It really was.
Do you have any more thoughts on Mom's Guide to the Vampire?
It's a fun distraction at Halloween, but there are better Halloween kid movies that you could watch.
We did not talk nearly enough about the pimping out of his sister.
He tried to prostitute his sister?
For a ticket. Without ever telling her. Like, you have to tell her at some point.
And when she found out, she was rightfully mad.
Yes, but also, like, you could tell he felt... she could tell he felt bad about what he did, and he never, for whatever reason, like, he wasn't trying to do anything about it. And you can't go... She walked away immediately. Like, you can't go walking away now. This is an imperative time. You have to stick together to save your mom. This is not the time to squabble.
It is one thing to get mad. Yes, put a pin in it, talk about it later. Save mom first.
Go to therapy and then to discuss. That's our DCOM, Josh.
It's a
Do we have
time.
another one next? What's the next one? Our next one is Phantom of the Megaplex.
And then after that, the ultimate Christmas present. That I remember that one.
What the hell is that?
You've never seen it?
Never heard of it.
What? It has Brenda Song in it.
I haven't seen a lot of DCOMs, Josh. That's part of the fun of this thing. Josh, movies have been released since we last recorded.
They have?
Quite a few.
Oh.
We have, and just give a yay or a nay if you see it. Yay, nay, or haven't seen it, okay?
Okay.
Air.
Yay.
Mario.
Mixed yay.
Once a Ranger, always a Ranger.
Nah, haven't seen.
Ghosted.
Haven't seen.
Evil Dead Rise.
Yay.
Peter Pan and Wendy.
Haven't seen.
Beau is Afraid.
Mixed. Just mixed.
Josh is too scared to say anything.
I don't know what to say is the problem.
Beef.
Yay.
Ted Lasso Season 3.
Partial yay because I haven't seen the whole thing.
Renfield.
Yay.
I've seen Air. I'm gonna give yay Air, yay Mario. Yeah, well sure. Once a Ranger, always a Ranger. I have not seen, but I can get into why. It's a lot. Ghosted I have not seen, but I love how whiny how whiny Chris Evans looks in the clips I've seen. Evil Dead Rise, I've seen no Evil Dead films yet. Peter Pan and Wendy, I checked out after 10 minutes because I got really upset. I'm a huge Peter Pan enthusiast and fan, and Josh knows it's my favorite character of all time. So I am very, very critical of Peter Pan media. I watched Pan opening day.
If you could watch Pan, then you could watch Peter Pan and Wendy.
Pan was different enough. Like, it wasn't the same story. So at least I had... I'm like, let's see where it's going to go. This was like, you're just butchering every single plot point so far. Every single detail. Beau is Afraid I've not seen yet. I'm nervous to see it, but it looks so much fun to me. Beef I've not seen. Ted Lasso Season 3. I will be starting watching this week. Renfield is very fun, but also tonally a mess. Do you have anything you want to say about any of these movies? I think Air is really good.
Air is very good. It is a very fun time. Beef is very good.
Mario, you didn't love.
Okay, so first time I saw it with my little brother, packed theater. Overall, I thought it was fine. Like, I don't think it was anything especially strong. I didn't think it was especially that funny, but it's okay. And I saw it again because I wanted to refresh my brain and just, like, see what it was like. I was the only one in the theater. That very much affected the experience, because without, like, the kids constantly, like, laughing and cheering and everything, I was just like, man, there's, like, no funny jokes in this. And it's very weird that most of the comedy doesn't work, because it's from the directors of Teen Titans Go to the Movies, which is a very funny movie. And, like, there's so many jokes in here where the timing of the delivery is completely off. There's just no real personalities to most of the characters, and just things just feel off with the whole thing.
Want to know something kind of weird?
Yes.
Apparently the Japanese version has a slightly different script.
Fascinating.
I'm very curious. I think Mario, you said before it felt fast. It is very fast.
Like, too fast.
Mario there should have been at least two plots happening. First, save Luigi, then stop Bowser. Luigi was not in this movie. Not really.
He was at first, and then he's completely forgotten about.
It's very funny, considering the last movie we had watched with Mario, Luigi was the main character, with John Leguizamo.
What's funny about Bowser's plan is very stupid, because he gets the Power Star so he can take over the Mushroom Kingdom, and he's going to take it over by marrying Peach. But if she rejects him, he's going to destroy the Mushroom Kingdom. And I'm like, dude, make up your mind. Do you want to rule them, or do you want to destroy them? You can't have it both ways.
Well, it's marry me or die kind of thing, or destroy. That's the...
But he says that he wants to take it over, but then he's like, I'm going to destroy you. I'm like, dude, what is your goal here aside from the marriage?
Look, man, he had reptile brain. Remember the de-evolutionizer in the last movie?
Look, I'll give the original this. That had far more creativity than this one did.
You said before to me you'd rather watch this one than the OG. Is that still true?
I said that?
Yeah.
I kind of take that back after rewatching this.
I would rather watch... See, I haven't told you any of my thoughts on Mario movie really yet. I would rather watch the 90s movie 100 times over the new one.
Yeah.
Because I think this one's at least fun. I don't have an opinion on the new one, honestly. It's like, you know what? I wish the trailers showed less, because I think people would have more fun with this movie. Like, even because most of the Easter eggs are in the trailers.
There's some clever Easter eggs. I'll give them that.
There's some cool things like that, but the movie is just a Where's Waldo of, hey, remember that thing?
And like, God, the needle drops are so they by the end they become obnoxious. I'm just like, yes, I've heard this song before. This doesn't add anything to the moment. So what's the point?
I wish literally any single thing had stakes in the movie. Like literally, Mario and DK fall and don't get get stuck somewhere. They get out right away. Like it's like, oh, nothing really has consequences. That's wonderful.
What's funny is they try to have a character building moment between the two of them and try to have some emotional moment of just like, my dad never believed in me. Oh yeah, my dad thinks I'm a joke. I counted literally 2 seconds after DK said that he was like, yeah, your dad was right. I'm just like, all right, so there's no emotions, and it's good to know that they tried and they were me like, never mind.
The movie is fine.
I'll watch it again. I won't be happy about watching it again though.
It looks fantastic.
The animation, as always with Illumination, looks fantastic.
Once Ranger, always Ranger. I think it is too late, first off. I think my biggest problem with it is adding, like, it says dedicated to, it's the actor who played original Trini, who passed away many, many years ago, to the original Yellow Ranger. And they also added dedicated to Jason David Frank, who was the Tommy, who was the most famous Power Ranger of all time, who also passed away last year. And my thought is, I don't think I should have dedicated it to him. Not in a mean way, because he was alive when this was being made, and he said no to being in it. So it felt really disingenuous to like say, in loving memory of these two people. I'm like, this is he didn't want to be a part of this. So why would you? That felt just weird to me. And there's a lot of weird. The movie has weird vibes in general. It's a little bizarre. Also, I don't like sometimes killing a character in media after the actor died is a weird route to take. I think here it was a weird route to take to have original Trini be murdered like in the universe. Like, that's not very nice. You could, even if she died, she could die in a nicer way than being murdered. Like, at least T'Challa, it wasn't like he had a gruesome death. Like, you could have, there's some grace to it, you know.
A fascinating choice to say the least.
Yeah, they had like Rita Repulsa. One of you've seen you might.
I know of Rita Repulsa from the new movie.
Okay, well, she's also the original show.
Yeah.
She killed Trini. Apparently, I'm like, oh,
that's dark.
Why would you do this? Why would you do this? This is a bad choice. But other than that, I haven't watched it because of that. I was feeling like this feels weird to me. It feels a little icky. The idea is fun. That's about it at that point. Ghosted. I have Apple TV. I haven't signed in yet to my TV to it. Sometimes they're just lazy. That's really all it comes down to. Any other thoughts of these movies and shows that come out recently, or anything else that came out in the past month? They're like, that's fun, or no?
I did start Pete Davidson's new Peacock show, Bupkis. Joe Pesci is in it. Never thought I'd see him in a comedy with Pete Davidson, but I have, and I'm very much enjoying it.
I did finally watch D&D. That
was a fun one.
That was very fun. I watched a double feature of D&D and Mario back to back. Mario was not as fun as D&D. Oh, also Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 came out, but we'll get to that in a little bit. That'll be more toward the very end in our Marvel stuff. Moving on, Josh, to video game adaptation news, which there's quite a lot of, actually.
Yes, mainly because of the success of Mario.
Let's talk about Last of Us, a show you have the least tolerated. Like, I think Josh is like the least big. I think if you're new to the podcast, Josh has never been a fan of Last of Us. He hates the games. He hates them.
I try to make it as crystal clear as I can every time I talk about it, but I think people have been getting the wrong idea that I really love the games. Somehow people think that he watched the show with like enjoyment and like wonder. Like, you listen to our Last of Us episode, you can tell he's not a big fan. Clearly, me, I'm like the biggest fan in the world. I have played every game a million times, all 10 of them. They're my favorite long-running series for the past 25 years. So that's my thing. That's honestly my whole life is The Last of Us. Whereas Josh is like a little fungus eater bitch, and he doesn't like it. All right.
Anyway, Craig Mason. Also, because it's audio only and tone is random, I'm gonna say right now that was a joke. People sometimes don't know what jokes are. That was a joke. Craig Mason says the plan is to do The Last of Us not just for one more season. He said, and I quote, "We should be around for a while," according to Deadline. Define a while, Craig Mason. Hopefully, not more than like 3 seasons, unless there's another game coming out still.
I don't want them to overstay their welcome. I want them to do it for as long as, they need to tell the story.
Yeah, I don't really care. Be around for a while. It seems a little odd, but I like the show so far. So why not? You've also watched Mario twice now because you're a masochist.
Correct.
And Jack Black said apparently, because you played Bowser in it, and he had his wonderful outfits, by the way. Jack Black wants Pedro Pascal to voice Wario in Super Mario Bros. Movie sequel. How would you feel if he was Mario and John Leguizamo was Waluigi? After his very nonsensical boycott.
It would be something.
Cast Danny DeVito as Wario, just cause.
Like everyone wants it, and I'm willing to bet he'd say yes to it.
But Pedro Pascal, I'll give that is a yay. If I get Jack Black even thinks of him for that, it's great.
Yeah.
Also, if you're new to the podcast in general, we usually say yay or nay to news. It means almost nothing besides just what's the vibe right now.
Correct.
What are we feeling? And it can be for a dumb reason. It's all fine. Live action Street Fighter news, Josh.
Oh yeah.
It's in the works. That's the news. They're making a Street Fighter live action film with Legendary. I have no opinion.
I have played like a Street Fighter game like one time, and that's all I have to say about it.
Well, I have more of an opinion on this thing, and that's the Minecraft movie starring Jason Momoa as Steve from Minecraft, apparently, will release on April 4th, 2025.
Jason Momoa as Steve?
That's what I'm guessing he's going to be. Who else would he be?
I don't know. No, I just want Jason Momoa trapped in the Minecraft world.
But like, legitimately though, realistically, he's going to be playing Steve, right?
I don't know.
Is it going to be I want it to be live action. Make this a live action movie.
The less I know about this movie, the better.
It's just him in a blue screen room alone. That's all I want. Cut me out. I will give this a yay, because at least it's something. Whereas this movie's been in development hell for like 10 years now, pretty much. So like, yeah, whatever. Yep. Yay. I've been playing Minecraft for like since it's come out, pretty much. Josh has been playing it loosely for like a year, very loosely. So mostly just mini games at this point. And yeah, I think Josh is the best Bed Wars player in the world.
I would disagree with that, but okay.
We have FNAF news.
FNAF.
Do you care about Five Nights at Freddy's?
I remember when it came out how big it was. That's it.
You watched Markiplier play it?
Yes.
You also have FNAF VR.
Yes, I do.
The live-action movie starring Matthew Lillard and Josh Hutcherson and other fun people, it will release October 27th in theaters this year.
Neat.
That's soon. That feels... It was just announced. Look, right? It feels bizarre.
Well, it's been in development hell since like 2015, and they finally filmed it like a few months ago.
That's a very fast thing from announcing to the public, too. Coming out the same year. That's pretty cool. I like that. Also, alongside that, we have the news that it's going to come out on Peacock on the same day.
God damn it. Why has Universal not learned from the Halloween movies doing poor at the box office because they did this exact crap?
Peacock and in theaters, same day, FNAF. How do you feel about this, Josh? 1 to 10 scale of how happy you are for it.
-7.
That's not 1 to 10.
Too bad.
You're bad at math. That's why you're a film student and not a normal student. Oh, got you. Yeah, I don't care. It should be in theaters only. That's all. Yay or nay on FNAF release date coming out this year?
Yay.
Also, October 27th is a good time for that. That's our video game news.
Woo!
We get to have Mario movies and Flash movies and FNAF. We're FNAF movies and Jack Black and Blasphemous and more. We have Shrek news.
Shrek!
Which is the weirdest fucking sentence to say in a long time. Why is Shrek still happening? We have Shrek 5 news specifically. And that's that Mike Myers, Cameron Diaz, Eddie Murphy are all in early talks for Shrek 5. And the entire voice cast has tremendous enthusiasm for it right now.
Good.
Supposedly, also, there's potential plans for a Donkey spin-off.
Interesting.
And you know what? Sure. I have not watched either Puss in Boots movie yet still.
Ah, you fool!
I've also only seen Shrek 4 one time. But you know what? I would watch the hell out of Shrek 5. I'll be there day one in theaters. Would you watch it?
Yes.
Would you watch it? You watch it? You'd watch it? You'd watch it?
Maybe.
You sure you watch it?
Yes.
Okay, good. I had to make sure. Do you like Barbies? Do you play with dolls? Are you a big doll guy?
Not particularly, no.
You're not a doll connoisseur?
Not really.
Personally, I think you are.
Oh.
I'm aware of your doll habits. What the fuck? Well, Barbie's coming out, as you know. We're both excited for it. And John Cena was just cast in the Barbie movie.
I love it.
I don't like his face. So, like, no. I think that John Cena is probably fine. I have only seen him really in a few small things. I have liked him in nothing.
Well, you're incorrect.
I'm not against him as a person. He's not my favorite actor right now. That's not me hating him. Again, I have not watched Peacemaker yet. I almost said Pissmaker. I've not watched Peacemaker yet. My mind could change. I don't know. But we also have new Barbie character posters. Were you a fan of those?
Yes.
I love the she's everything. He's just Ken.
It's great.
And he's another Ken. He's another kid. And all different types of Barbies, but then it's just, he's Ken. That made me very happy.
Yes.
Who will be the Barbie to your just Ken, Josh?
I have no idea.
I think it'll be Margot Robbie.
Ah, interesting.
Margot Robbie will always be your Barbie. What am I saying? Jesus Christ, I'm tired. Bob Dylan, his biopic starring Timothée Chalamet, or Timothée, will be filming in August, and I wrote in parentheses, we'll see, because, stuff's happening right now in the world, and we'll get to that soon. I mean, Timothée Chalamet looks like Bob Dylan, sure. I don't really want a Bob Dylan biopic. I don't really want biopics in general most of the time.
I am done with biopics.
And it's another musical one, probably because it's Bob Dylan. Your favorite genre of movie?
Sure.
I think that Josh should watch more biopics.
Should I?
I think I should lock you in a room. That's a good start to a sentence. And I should put a TV there and make you watch Bohemian Rhapsody and Elvis on a loop.
I'm good.
You would love it. You would not go insane within 2 hours. But Bob Dylan's biopic, if it does film in August, hypothetically, would you be okay with that? Would you give that a yay or nay?
I don't know.
Yay or nay to John Cena and Barbie?
Hard yay.
Yay or nay to the new Barbie posters?
Yay.
We have weird news about HBOmax. So as you're already aware, HBOmax this month is changing their name from HBOmax and Discovery Plus. It'll be a Title 1 service now just called Max. They're changing the purple to blue even. It's so stupid.
I hate it.
Also, it comes with new pricing plans.
Of course it does.
It's so stupid. You can Max debuts on May 23rd, and there'll be 3 price ranges with ads for $9.99 a month, ad-free for $15.99 a month, or ultimate ad-free for $19.99 a month. What is there? Ad-free implies no ads, right? What are you offering that's ultimate ad-free? My favorite reply to this is from Pluto TV saying Pluto TV is $0. And that's a good way to advertise, but this is stupid.
Yeah, it's.
I'm not against change as long as change makes sense. I think removing the HBO is bad for branding.
It's very stupid for branding. Like, how do you see the success of The Last of Us, Barry, Succession that all have HBO on it? It's just like, you know what? Let's take that out of it. That will make things better.
I think part of the idea is they want to be more geared toward a family and Netflix is like everyone can watch that, but whereas people think that HBO is elite, I guess, and that's so stupid.
No one thinks that.
That's what they think people think.
No one's gonna think that when you start advertising the 90-Day Fiancé Cinematic Universe, whatever it was that they called it.
That was so funny. Dear God, this summer's been wild. We have Chicken Run 2 casting news,
as we should,
which is a bizarre sentence. Chicken Run is a great film, and we're getting a sequel. Of course, they had to recast most people because it's been a long time.
It has been a while.
We have Molly and Ginger, voiced by Bella Ramsey as Molly, and Thandie Newton as Ginger.
Tandy Newton.
Tandy. I've never heard the name pronounced before, out loud, so I didn't know how to say it. It's called Chicken Run Dawn of the Nugget, which, honestly, that's a great idea, because we gotta have chicken nuggets. I ate McDonald's the other day. It was worth it. We also have Zachary Levi as Rocky, the crazy guy, the stunt guy.
Originally voiced by Mel Gibson.
Was he really?
Yes.
Oh, dear God.
That is why he was recast.
David Bradley is Fowler. Was he Fowler originally?
I don't know.
We also have Jane Horrocks as Babs, aka the Wool Specialist, and Imelda Staunton as Bunty, the Muscle. And this is a wonderful cast. I am down. Yay?
Yay.
Bella Ramsey is just great.
I love Bella and everything.
We have news that is to some people tragic, to some people happy, to other people indifferent. James Corden's Late Show has now concluded. I can drive in peace. I live in Los Angeles. I have seen them stop cars before, and I have driven the other way. No more!
No more!
But now someone else will take his place. I'm sure it'll become a new era of chaos, I'm sure, at some point. Because nothing in Los Angeles is ever calm.
No.
But for now, I can't drive in peace. I'm in LA. There's 8 million fucking people. What am I saying? But it's a sad thing in general to have anyone's show end. And I'm sure he said he's ready to go back home and to his family, to, all his whole life. He uprooted his life to come here and do this. So that's a big change. I'm guessing it's time. It will be time to come back at some point.
Yeah.
So whether you love him or hate him or whatever, this is still news. I'm not gonna say it's good. This is still sad news. But if you love or hate him, if you hate him, it might not be sad news. So this is news. Yay for Oompa Loompas with Hugh Grant, Josh.
I love Hugh Grant's career right now. It's so good.
Huey playing an Oompa Loompa, which makes me hope for so much. A lot of people have been saying that they don't want to be treated. They want Oompa Loompas to be different in this movie, like how they're changing the dwarves in Snow White. Just cast a bunch of different people as Oompa Loompas. You could have little people there. You could have tall people there. You could have, people of different races. Like just have them be what they're called. Just have a group of people. That'd be a better way to do it. Also, not have them be slaves. Because originally, in the book, they're from Africa. And he took them. Wonka's not the best dude.
Yeah, Roald Dahl, you read between the lines of that book, Wonka's a messed up dude.
I think both Depp and Wilder have shown that as well in their portrayals. But Hugh Grant, I want Hugh Grant to be every Oompa Loompa, actually.
Would that be too much Hugh Grant for one movie, though?
No. I hope they don't just size him down though, because that would be really problematic to me at this point. Just have him be a dude, a silly little goofball.
Silly goofball.
Yay on him being a Oompa Loompa potentially.
Yay.
You like Aziz Ansari?
Yes.
He is having his directorial debut soon with Good Fortune. The comedy will star himself alongside Keanu Reeves and Seth Rogen in a movie together.
I find it funny that this is the second time that we've had this kind of headline, because this wasn't originally supposed to be his directorial debut.
What was the first one?
There was a film that he was shooting a year ago. I don't remember who all was in it. Seth Rogen might have been in it, but it was him and Bill Murray was also in it. But that was when stuff came out about Bill Murray saying and or doing some pretty bad things on the set, and so they shut it down. And now he's completely shifted over to this new project altogether because of it.
Thanks, I hate it.
Yes.
We also have Bugs Bunny news.
As we should.
We have a new live-action / animated hybrid Bugs Bunny movie reportedly in the works right now, and I am indifferent, but sure. Make it the same way you made Smurfs. That's a good plan.
Do we want that, though?
I think it'd be fun if it was more like Mary Poppins style, where it's just he's still 2D. Or like Roger, the new, the fucking hamsters. What are they called? Rescue Rangers. What are the Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers? Make it like that, where he's 2D the whole time.
The fucking hamsters.
The fucking hamsters. The little shits. Yeah.
That was too funny.
I'm glad you liked my hamsters. Yay on Bugs Bunny animated hybrid. We'll see how it goes.
I'll give it a yay. I'm always down for Looney Tunes stuff.
Let's wait for a trailer to make any kind of decision.
True.
I have Netflix news, and it's weird because it confuses most people. I was aware of this already, but did you know that Netflix still had DVDs? Because I knew that. My brother still uses that service.
Yes.
The DVD is shutting down for 25 business days. Nope. Netflix is shutting down their DVD business after 25 years. Not the same thing as 25 business days.
It's a bit different.
I don't know. I'm going to give this a nay because my brother likes using it still. Like, it's a weird thing to have, but it kind of sucks that it's going away.
Yeah.
It is their only profitable part still.
Look, Netflix has been on the pathway of just wanting to die, and they're too stupid to realize that's what they've set themselves on.
Like, it's literally the only division they have that makes profits, isn't it, the DVD section? So it's very bizarre that they're like, you know what, let's cut that. Fucking hamsters. I think that's a good insult. Call anyone now a fucking hamster. If you can't remember their name, just refer to them as a hamster from now on.
That should be our first piece of merch, a shirt that just says fucking hamsters.
Would you wear that?
I would love to wear that.
Oh, God. We have, in the realm of movie news, the Writers Guild of America has now gone on strike. And today is the 5th day. How do you feel right now, Josh, about this? Good.
Yes.
We both stand with WGA, and our WGA strong fully. I support them fully. Do not scab. What that means, essentially, is if you are looking at working film right now, do not write for a union job. Even if you're non-union, and then you say union position and wanting to hire a writer, don't write for them. Don't say anything in right now. Don't do it. In general, don't cross the picket line. Like, literally not walk past it, because that's showing that you're willing to do that. You're seeing what people are doing. If you of course, the picket lines don't apply to like Oklahoma or like Kansas or wherever. I'm saying, but around the studios, try to be ethical and good. Like, pay your writers their fair wages. A big portion of this comes from streaming. I don't know how the last big writer strike, which is 2007, 2008, was because of a lot of it was because of back end money, which is almost always how it comes down to. We came down to reruns because TV was picking up a lot more syndication, their shows, and things were getting ran again and again. And then they want to get paid fairly for their shows being aired again. And now with streaming, they get paid so little for people watching their things, or for things even just being on the streaming services, really. So it's a way for them writers to actually get paid in their residuals fairly. That way they can continue to support themselves while being a writer instead of having to get extra jobs, etc. And most studios right now are paying the lowest of what they're allowed to pay possible to writers, which really sucks.
Like, it's honestly really eye-opening when you hear them talk about how little they get. Like, there's a writer for Jane the Virgin, an episode that they wrote, their residual check from Netflix was like 3 cents. And then the writers of A Quiet Place, they said that they were offered a few years ago to write for a show on a really big streaming service. They were offered $40,000, not $40,000 each, $40,000 for the both of them together. And then when you factor in like all the things of like agents splitting it between the two of them and like lots of other factors, plus working over 40 hours a week, that is less than minimum wage of what they were earning.
Yeah, and also with the increasing prevalency of AI right now, a big portion is to saying, hey, don't write AI scripts because that lacks all the soul. One of my favorite signs was saying ChatGPT doesn't have a childhood trauma.
Yeah, but also what people don't realize about AI, and I'm talking to tech bros here especially, AI steals. That's how it works.
Yeah.
It looks online for anything of what people have written, created, and like takes the pieces of that to form something new. But what they form is too perfect, and what that means is like it doesn't sound like how a human talks at all in like any kind of way, shape, or form. You need the imperfections in order for it to have character, have meaning, have symbolism. Because if everything is perfect, then nothing is actually being said.
And if you are currently like, oh, my show is being delayed, that's okay.
That's good.
That's 1,000 things to watch right now. Millions of things. Watch something else. It's okay. The whole point is a strike should disrupt stuff.
If it's not disrupting stuff, then nothing is actually getting done.
Nothing's getting done. Right, exactly. Unfortunately, right now, according to Above the Line, multiple studios are exploring using AI, multiple studios, to generate scripts based on books and other public domain IP.
And not only that, but they want, once the strike ends, then they'll want the writer, they'll want to hire writers to fix the scripts, which means they already know that the scripts that are produced by AI are bad, but they're still going to go through it anyway, so that way they can pay writers even less.
And writers right now are asking for 2%. Not like individual writers. All of WGA is asking for like 2% of like all the revenue, which is so little.
Is is fascinating, just the reaction of studios with this whole thing, especially for shows. Like, shows live and die by the writers. Directors barely have any say at all in shows. Everything goes through the writers, from pre-production all the way through post-production, because that's how it works in that landscape. And the fact they're getting it paid as little as they are for it is kind of insane. I'm very worried about shows that are currently still happening right now, like Lord of the Rings, House of the Dragon, Andor. Those are still going through with no showrunners or writers on sets. And that's a problem, because you need writers on there to fix things of dialogue, things of logic, and like, there's so many problems that happen on sets that you have to fix on the fly, and you need a writer to be able to fix said problems so it works, it makes sense. And those shows are very, very lore heavy. And, you know, if you get something wrong and you don't have someone there to fix it, you're kind of screwed.
Similarly, with things like Deadpool 3 coming out right now, and there will be no writers on set. They can't write new jokes, they can't fix current problems that aren't working, etc.
Yeah. But a good thing that did just get announced is the creators, the Duffer Brothers of Stranger Things, they are not going to be filming Stranger Things, the final season, until the strike, you know, everything gets resolved, because they know that that is Netflix's biggest show. And by signaling to them, like, hey, screw you, we're not going to make your biggest thing until you get this right. Like, that is a good thing.
Also, Duffers, first and foremost, are writers. So they understand how this feels. That's how showrunners work. So this is all fascinating stuff. We're not going to dive much more into that. If you want to hear more about this stuff, email us in like the show at podgeekspeak@gmail.com, and we will address all if more thorough. We'll address any comments, questions, or concerns. Because also, I could literally go to I'm in Los Angeles. I could drive down there and ask act writers your exact questions right now. So please send stuff in. You can tweet us at #GeekSpeakPod or GeekSpeakPod on Twitter, or email us, like I said, at podgeekspeak@gmail.com. And we will respond to you. We will try to engage and inform as best we can. Because this is mostly a pop culture podcast, this is really important.
Quite so.
But now we're moving off of that, Josh, to trailers, a.k.a. my favorite segment, Wheat Truck Time. Which is a reference now, like, 6 episodes older or something? Whatever.
I don't know.
Did you watch the Gran Turismo trailer for the video game movie?
I did. I remember hearing this movie get announced. I'm just like, so you're going to make a movie about a video game series that's just about racing cars. That's stupid. But then when you actually watch the trailer, that is what it's about, but it's actually based on a true story. And it's an interesting true story.
It's a story of people who are playing Gran Turismo.
And it's like this very rich guy puts together a contest for the best players of Gran Turismo to get together and, you know, find which one of them is the best, and then train them to race like these actual like cars in a big, you know, Gran Turismo type race.
Yeah, this looks really fun, and I like David Harbour, and the idea of running a race 1,000 times in a game and then kind of knowing in real life would make sense. So I'm down with that.
It looks very interesting. I'm not a fan of the poster, mainly because he's holding a PS5 controller in his hand. I get the idea. I just don't like the way it looks.
That's so stupid.
I'm aware.
Oh, we also got the Across the Spider-Verse trailer, where they singled out what happened in No Way Home.
Yes.
And I love that. Because also, even the Spider-Verse writers understand that it's $10.99.99.
It is not 616 like Feige wants you to believe. Or
$19.99.99, yes. It's complicated and stupid, but the comic universe is OG comic universe is 616. Also, the fact that people are making the MCU 616 in the first place is even more dumb, because the whole point of calling the comic universe that was that the number was arbitrary and didn't mean anything. So when you're putting that importance on that number, it undoes the point of why they named it in the first place.
And what's funny is like in Far From Home, they make the reference that this is Earth Dimension 616, but then you find out that Mysterio and everything about him was a bunch of bullshit, so it adds to that. But then now we're in the multiverse saga, and now that's technically true.
To be fair, the Multiverse of Madness girl, what's her name? Christine Palmer claims it, in Another World calls them that. So it's kind of nonsense. They have multiple nonsensical ways to keep calling it that. But also, Eric Sugwood called it that in Thor: The Dark World.
Look, all I know is that Amon Villani called out Feige on the Miss Marvel red carpet about it being 616, and I love her for that. It's
Earth 1999.99. It always has been and always will. That's kind of the whole point of. It's mostly for us nerds to understand which Earth people are talking about in different Elseworlds. And so if you make it more confusing, that's stupid. But anyway, the Spider-Verse trailer talked about Doctor Strange and that little twerp from Earth 1999. I'm like, that's great. That's great. I love that. The trailer was really fun. I think it's a little odd to me how beefy Miguel O'Hara is.
Do you think that's weird?
He's so big! Have you seen the man's shoulders?
It seems fine to me.
He's a fucking tractor, Josh! What do you mean?
You're telling me Oscar Isaac isn't a tractor in real life.
I'm talking about Miguel O'Hara. He is too large. It's quite bothersome to look at.
It's an animated movie where everyone has different proportions. I'm fine with it.
Like, I get Kingpin was just a bowling ball in the first one. But in this, it just felt bizarre. Also, why is he shaped that way? He's like a little Dorito triangle little fuck. His shoulders are so big, and his legs are so skinny. Why is he a triangle? I don't understand. Also, I don't get a change in his suit from the post-credit scene of the last one. I'm just not a fan of the look overall change. Because I just think it was cooler before. They really emphasized the skull-ish pattern on the spider in his chest, and it's fine.
I think it's fine to me. I got no problems with it.
You don't got no problem?
I got no problem.
You don't got no problem? Hey, I'm gonna break every bone in his body. I'm Bob Hoskins Mario. Spider-Verse trailer was fun. I give it a yay.
Yay.
Fucking Dorito-ass bitch. Barbie trailer, yay?
Yay.
No other thoughts. Just because I love the line though, because we're boyfriend girlfriend. Look, the way that was said was great. You want to come over? Why? Because we're boyfriend. Nope. And do what? I'm not sure. But it was really fun. I liked it a lot. I liked the cast. Everything. We're gonna see day one. I do think the AMC theater giant cardboard pop out of the Oppenheimer countdown is incredibly ominous. Have you seen that?
Yeah.
I hate it. It's like, this is when Nolan will murder you all with a real bomb. Ah, thank you. This is what we asked for. We get the Marvels trailer, Josh. You watched that and loved it, right?
Yes.
Me too. Iman Vellani is great. Brie Larson is fantastic. Everyone in this looks fantastic. Everyone's having a great time. I'm loving it. I love the idea of when you use your powers, you swap positions. That'd be such a fun video game, first off.
Oh, yeah.
But also, what a cool way to make choreographed combat scenes in this now.
Yeah.
And what a difficult way to film them.
Oh, yeah.
That's like going to be a lot of match cuts. Yay. Yay, 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 yay.
Yay, yay.
Yay, 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 yeah. I love Iman Vellani's pure terror and her scream at the Flurkin.
Yeah.
That was, oh my god, that was an amazing reaction. She's a great actress, and I'm excited to see what she does in the future as well.
Yeah.
Now we have the thing I don't want to talk about, but we're going to talk about because it's obligatory DC shit with the trailer called The Flash, a.k.a. the Batman again. Before we talk about it, I'll say what we said before. Don't see it in theaters, please. Just don't. I know that you want to see it in theaters because big screen stuff. Just don't. Wait till it drops on Max instead of HBOmax. Wait till it drops on a streaming service. And then wait a month after that. That way all the metrics are done. And you're no longer telling any part of WB that you want Ezra back. It helps them in none at that point, pretty much. Like a very, very, very little at all. And it's a good way to say F you to Ezra. We do not want them back. But because our entire show is built on DC and Marvel mostly, we have to talk about it. Josh, Flash trailer looked fun to you at least?
I hate how much I like this trailer.
Josh and I are not just WGA strong, we are also anti-Ezra strong.
We've been anti-Ezra strong for a while now.
We had a recurring segment for a while called Ezra News, and at one point we're like, you want to talk about it? No, and it stopped. Because, this is just, it got excessive. Fuck you, Ezra Miller. I used to love Ezra Miller as an actor so much.
Perks Being a Wallflower is still their best performance.
Yeah, I liked him as the Flash. I don't give a fuck about Ezra Miller now. But also, this trailer, it looks fun. We get Michael Keaton saying, want to get nuts, let's get nuts, and it has zero impact because it's said with no emotion and no meaning. It's also weird he says it again, contextually. In Willem Dafoe, when Willem Dafoe says, I'm something of a scientist myself, it was a throwaway line in the first one, and then it works as kind of a throwaway line again in No Way Home, because it's something he might just say, casually, because that's just a normal thing to say. To bring it up in conversation. But you want to get nuts, let's get nuts, does not make any goddamn sense in the context of this movie. Because in the first film, he said it in a heated thing, trying to save someone's life as Bruce Wayne talking to the Joker, and it had no other it wasn't like a it wasn't an impactful line. It was just like, hey, I'm trying to save someone here. Get behind me. Let's battle. In this, it's just like, I'm just saying the thing that you know. Here we go. It makes no sense. Don't support this movie, please. Please don't. We are actually begging at this point. Because my first stance is, for years, my stance was in general, that if an actor does something problematic after the movie was already made, then go see it still, support everyone else. But at this point, this doesn't apply to this movie, because they keep doing bad stuff consistently. It wasn't like they're brushed away and stuff. And Jesus Christ. And I'd be more okay with people saying this if they said definitively, Ezra's done with WB.
But they've been like, we'll see.
Like, we're open to keeping them. Like, no, please. I feel like it'd be more beneficial to say Ezra's done. This is their last movie, but come see it for everyone else who worked so hard on it. I would gain a lot of respect for that. But no, Ezra Miller, fuck you. This trailer, Josh. What else do we talk about for it?
Some of the visuals look good. Some of them not so hot.
You love the past Batman Flash suit.
I fucking despise it with all my heart. It is legitimately probably the worst suit I've seen in a live action superhero movie. It's just everything about it is wrong.
It's bizarre. Did you watch the trailer for the Ballad of Songbirds and Bad Boys?
Yes.
What did you think?
It looks very good and very interesting. I love the cast. I still can't get the actor that plays young Snow looking like a young Rob McElhenney when he has his hair shaved. Don't ask me why. That's all I see. That's all I see.
Bizarre. It looks really good. Hope it is political. Very political. I don't want to see barely any games at all.
From the way the trailer looks, it seems like it's going to very lean heavily into the politics of the whole thing.
Because people keep asking, I want to see the games of Hamish. I want to see the games of Johanna. I'm like, you missed the point of the Hunger Games.
You are completely missing the point.
Like, Mockingjay, in theory, should be the best because there's no games. When in reality, the first half of Catching Fire is the best.
Yeah.
Because that's when that's when you see the world as it's more interesting. I think Mockingjay as one movie could have been an incredible film.
Yeah.
I've reread parts of the book now. I'm like, you know what? Cat is actually a lot more interesting now as an adult. Reading this instead of a child. I think I hated her thought process as a child. I'm like, I didn't get it as much.
Yeah.
I don't know. But Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, it looks fine. Dune 2, Electric Boogaloo. Did you watch the poo? Did you watch it?
I did. I am so goddamn excited for this.
Are you sure you're excited for it?
I'm very excited.
I just think that it looks boring. But also, I think the first one looked boring too. I don't know how the first one to me. I still have no idea how I feel about it. I'll watch it again before I watch the new one. I don't know. I'm excited to still see it. It's a lot of sand.
It is.
I think visually, I'm not a fan of the way it looks.
Really?
That's how I am with both of them. I think it looks.
It looks incredible.
It's too sandy. Give me something else besides sand to look at, please. It's all the dunes, Josh. There's so many dunes. Oh, Star Wars.
It's a thing.
We had Star Wars Celebration recently, which I don't really... do you celebrate Star Wars? I don't know. Taika Waititi. That's a man. Ow. He is reportedly? He is reported... I can't... today we don't have good brains, Josh, you and me.
Yeah.
He is reportedly committed to directing his Star Wars film next year. And the top comment is this a threat? Which I think is a very funny reply, but also, the 180 that people did on Taika Waititi is insane to me.
I'm just like, if you don't like Love and Thunder, that's fine. You're allowed to not like it, but you look at the rest of what he has done. He's very good at what he does.
He was praised for years and years as an amazing director and visionary person. One movie came out and people were like, yeah, never mind. He sucks. He's awful. Never again. I'm like, what the hell? A lot of it comes, I think, down to racism. Because he's not a white person, people just say, or have a higher standard and are more easily okay to quit on someone faster. Which really sucks in our world.
I'm willing to bet once his next movie with Michael Fassbender comes out, I'm willing to bet people will 180 again.
See, I'm consistent, if nothing else, Josh. You know me.
This is true.
I don't like Ragnarok or Love and Thunder. But I also like Taika as a director. Like I don't hate him at all. I think I've seen Hundreds of Little People. I absolutely fucking loved it. What We Do in the Shadows is amazing. I'm not watching Jojo Rabbit yet. I will at some point eventually in my life. But I think he's great and I think he's fun. I don't like his Thor films because they weren't for me. Like that's what it comes down to. And it's okay for directors to make things that are not for you sometimes. Sure, Star Wars is fun. I think that's the point. Star Wars should just be fun. Let us just have fun, please.
Please, I want Star Wars movies again, please.
Well, on that note, here's 3 Star Wars movies announced, Josh, from Star Wars Celebration. These are the biggest takeaways, I think, for the whole thing to me. We don't watch a lot of TV shows. We're going to get Andor Season 2 again, but okay. Do you want Andor Season 2?
I haven't finished Season 1, but I fucking love it. It is legitimately, it's one of the best things Star Wars has ever done.
I think the idea of Andor Season 2 is it should just be called Rogue One and just play the movie again.
Well, the creator says the last few episodes are like the 3 days before Rogue One happens.
Gotcha. So yeah, Season 2 is just Rogue One. Just do that. Okay, so first things first is we have Daisy Ridley returning as Rey Skywalker. I'm saying it again. As Rey Skywalker. If you are going to click off the podcast now, okay. Honestly, I don't care if you call her Skywalker or not. Just, like, let her be her. Like,
here's another thing to get you off the podcast in case you don't like us. Last Jedi is good. That's it.
Also, if you don't like it, you can. We're not trying to leave viewers. We're not trying to lose viewers. Also, I'm just saying that like if you vehemently hate it, I want to know why. And don't say the phrase "It's a good movie but a bad Star Wars movie."
That is the dumbest thing you could say.
And we're not trying to insult you if you feel that way. Well, maybe Josh is, but I'm not trying to insult you if you feel that way. Just like I want to know what your thoughts are and break down why it's a bad Star Wars movie. Because like I want to hear what you think it makes a Star Wars movie. Then is it just lightsabers? Like what defines Star Wars to you? That's actually an interesting question I would like to discuss sometime.
If it's just like what prequels did, then I'm sorry, but that's just wrong.
Rey will rebuild the Jedi Order is what the movie's about, and I'm so anti this.
I'm so against this. The idea, not Rey coming back. Rey coming back, I'm fine with, but why she's coming back?
I think it definitely is anti-Last Jedi. It's definitely anti everything that was being built up.
Like, she shouldn't be building up the Jedi again. It needs to be something different, because that's the whole point of The Last Jedi. Like, the old ways were bad. It's what led to all of this. You need to do something new. And obviously, like, even Luke says, like, the Jedi aren't going to be gone. He's not wrong in that. But this just makes it sound like that they're just like, oh, we're just going to build up the Jedi again. And just like, then you missed the whole point.
I also think that it could be this, like, a quick way to say it.
It could be.
Like, a definitely more in-depth look at what makes the Jedi fall, what makes them interesting, and, you know, the whole idea of it. And it could be about rebuilding the Jedi Order. It could be building a new Jedi Order. Like, it actually like a better structure, a new... something new from the ashes, more positive, and it absolutely could be interesting like that. And we'll see. But I love that she's coming back. I think that's fantastic.
Yes.
Also, if you want her to be Palpatine, you have the right to want her to be that for whatever. Like, if you think that'd be cool for her to reclaim that idea, that's fine. It's the people who will refuse to call her Skywalker because that's her chosen name. That's what bothers me.
My thing about if you like, saying like she should have accepted like her being a Palpatine, I'm like, okay, I hear you, but also that's like saying that you're the child of Hitler and you want to do good in the world, but you still keep your name Hitler. That's not going to really help your cause there.
Also, I think what's funnier about that to me is that the whole plot of all of Star Wars pretty much is found family. And it emphasizes that at the end because Leia and Luke were her two teachers pretty much. And that's why I'm like, what do you mean? At that point, she's a Skywalker. As much of a cell, like she's all of them. Like, that's her family. Anyway, so Dave Filoni, who also directed many episodes of Avatar: The Last Airbender, fun fact, will direct a Star Wars film culminating the events of the Mandoverse, as it's been called right now. You know what? Sure. Josh, at least finish Mandalorian before you judge it.
I'm going to, but I hate this idea because what made Mandalorian so interesting was it wasn't really tied to anything. It was doing its own thing. But then by season 2, you start getting all these cameos and stuff. It's just like, okay, I'm not digging that, but like I guess it's fine. And then season 3 has been happening. and then you have Book of Boba Fett, and then you have the Ahsoka show, and apparently it's all getting tied up into one big thing, and I'm just like, this is not what I wanted. I don't like this idea.
If they ever do Clone Wars flashbacks, though, like actually in the Clone Wars, give them their Clone Wars TV show live action armor with Hayden and Ewan. That's some cool armor. That's all. That's my only thought on that. Sure, whatever. I don't watch Mandalorian. I don't have a stake in this fight. I just want to say this because it's part of the news. And at least we're getting more movies, Josh. It's not just TV.
Yeah, but I don't want this movie.
But what? Well, you like James Mangold, you like Logan and stuff. He's making a movie for Star Wars.
Yes, this idea sounds really cool.
It'll be a biblical epic, as he describes it. And the idea is it's the beginning of the era of Star Wars. It follows a film called Dawn of the Jedi, which comes before the Old Republic.
Like, this is the beginning of time, essentially, like the starts of the Jedi. Like, this is a very cool idea. This is kind of what I've been waiting for Star Wars, to do something so far off from what we know as the Star Wars timeline and do something completely different. This sounds very cool.
What if we get Darth Plagueis the Wise, Josh?
I swear to God. I swear to God.
I mean, honestly, you could. I trust James Mangold. Why not?
I just don't want. I want to be away from this set time of Skywalkers.
Give us only Skywalkers from now on. We have. That's it for our Star Wars news, Josh. What do you think?
A lot of mixed bags.
Yay on Mangold writing?
Yes.
Directing movie? Yeah. Let's go to DC.
Oh,
I only have a few things. Don't worry. And like all of it is about Marvel actors going to DC. I'm pretty sure. Frank Grillo confirms he has a role in DC and James Gunn's DCU. He confirmed that to comicmovie.com and stuff, and cool. He's a good actor.
I hope he gets utilized more.
He'd be a cool Deathstroke.
Yeah, like he's got the charisma and talent that I think that he could pull off a pretty sizable role.
Similarly from the fun Guardians world with James Gunn, Pom Klementieff, Pom K.
Yeah.
I've heard it pronounced numerous times. And not that I'm not trying, but I've heard it said differently every time. I think it's Pom Klementieff. She says that she has had conversations now with James Gunn to join the DCU as a currently unknown character. She says, I knew about the character beforehand and thought the character was fucking cool. Awesome.
I'm down for that.
She'd be a cool Starfire.
Ooh.
So, that's almost all our news for DC, which is also a relief.
Yeah.
It's been on like a month, and DC's been like, yeah, we're doing well. We're working on our own stuff. That's great. James Gunn responds yes when asked if any of the Guardians of the Galaxy will be in Superman Legacy. Please have it just be Sean Gunn. That'd be so funny.
That'd be really funny.
I mean, you brought up to me that Will Poulter could be a good Jimmy Olsen, and I like the idea of that. Someone said Michael Rooker as Perry White. That'd be fucking hilarious.
If anyone's gonna be in James Gunn's Superman movie, it's gonna be Michael Rooker because he puts him in all his movies.
It will probably also be Sean Gunn at some point. That's what I'm thinking.
Well, no, he's already got him as Weasel.
He can be everyone in every movie.
No, he's already Calendar Man too. Maybe that's who Superman's fighting, is Calendar Man.
That's also in the Suicide Squad. We don't really know what's gonna happen yet with everything.
True.
Someone said Jenna Ortega as Sue Storm. Dear God.
I'm just like, you do understand. Someone's like, you do understand she's supposed to be the older sibling, right?
I like the idea of this in general. I would love the idea of Dave Bautista though as Lex Luthor.
Ooh, that would be interesting.
A big beefy Lex.
Yes.
We have our last piece of DC news now, Josh, and that is that Superman Legacy will reportedly begin filming in Atlanta, Georgia next January.
Cool.
Yay on all these DC news. We give a flat yay to every piece of DC news today, Josh.
Woo!
Well, besides the trailer for Flash. I'll give a native Flash trailer just because it's, obvious reasons. And we are going to be ending our discussion today with Marvel news.
Marvel!
First off, Mia Goth, who you might know from Pearl and X and stuff, has been cast in Blade.
She better be the villain. I think that'd be really fun.
She's playing Blade.
That'd be different.
Yeah. What do you mean? Is she not? What different? How, Josh? What's different about it? A few things, I think. She's not a vampire. That's what it is.
Sure.
Weirdly enough, the Amazing Spider-Man and the Raimi Spider-Man movies are now on Disney Plus, except for TASM 2.
Yeah, TASM 2 isn't on there, and then only Spider-Man Homecoming is on there, but not Far From Home or No Way Home, which is weird.
It's because the licensing is finally switching over from things, but...
No, I get that, but it's just funny to me, like, you got some of them, but not all of them.
To get what you can get and don't throw a fit.
You get the first Venom. Enjoy.
Do you really now? Oh, God.
Venom is on Disney Plus.
That's a odd sentence to me.
Yes.
Also, Kraven is going to be rated R now in this Bump universe. So that played at CinemaCon. People seem to actually enjoy it too. And he's not just a straight animal lover, which we talked about before.
It fucking kills me that for both Venom movies, they're PG-13, but Kraven gets to be rated R. Sure.
Rhino will be in it. I don't know what capacity yet, but...
sure, why not?
Make Rhino his biggest catch now. So the actual Rhino. Just a normal Rhino.
Just give me Paul Giamatti back as Rhino. Let him redeem himself.
Let Paul Giamatti voice a CGI normal Rhino. Just a normal, in the safari, just a normal fucking Rhino, just voiced by Paul Giamatti, just talking to Aaron Taylor Johnson. Andy Samberg is going to be playing Ben Reilly in the Spider-Verse.
Fun.
Yep, yay?
Yay.
Yay or nay on Kraven being rated R?
I don't know.
Yay or nay on Kraven having the Rhino in it?
Yay.
Yay. Make it Paul Giamatti. And make it a normal Rhino. Don't make it the character of the Rhino. Just a Rhino, please. Josh Gad cast in Wonder Man. I almost said Wonder Woman in the show Wonder Man. I have no idea who he'll be playing.
Yeah, this is one of, like, I can't really give an opinion on because I like Josh Gad, the actor. I just don't know what he's gonna play.
But Wonder Man's a cool character. I talked to you about before how he's like an actor and he has an agent and all this other stuff. But like, sure.
Yeah, I'm down.
Yeah. That was all the news now. We can talk briefly now to end the show off. We're not doing a super weird story. Just talking about a little bit about Guardians of the Galaxy. Non-spoilery. Just a few of our thoughts. And again, if you are going to top out now, it's okay. You can skip this part to go to the next thing. Josh loved it.
I very much did. I think 2 is still the best to me out of all of them. But this was a damn near perfect ending for this series in my eye. I cried many, many times. It broke me a lot. The action was fantastic. There's a wonder in this that just kind of blew my mind just from a lot of things. And oh my god, that final needle drop just gets me every time. It's very good.
Okay. Now, Josh.
I'm very curious what your opinion is because I know your opinions on the second one.
I am nothing if not consistent, my friend. Number 1. Perfection. Number 2, not good. Number 3, better than 2. It is good. I think it's net good. I have a lot of issues with it, but I think it's more good than bad. I think a lot of issues stem from the second one, and a lot of things just keep carrying over to me. And that's just gonna be how it is at this point. But I will say it is tonally a mess to me.
Really? I thought the tone was fairly consistent through most of it.
I understand. I believe that you think that. A lot of people. I've seen there are people out there who do agree with me. I'm not alone in thinking this. I also think that if you saw the trailers and thought it'd be like a scene of animal abuse that you can close your eyes for, walk out for, and come back in. Unfortunately, for a lot of people, it might be very triggering for. There's animal abuse the entire movie. Like it's sprinkled throughout, just to be more extra painful. And if you can't handle that, I want you to know ahead of time a content warning for the movie. A lot of people are very upset about the amount of animal endangerment and torture in this movie. I think my Nebula is my favorite Guardian now. I will say that. I love her. I love there's a moment where she like almost cries and like you can see her hand clutch her heart and feel like this sense of relief at one point. And it got me really emotional, like because of reasons I can't talk about. But overall, if you've seen the movie, you know why I'm talking about that. And there's things that carry over her in Infinity War Endgame. People don't think about because there's a lot of things that she was away from the Guardians. Most of the Guardians were gone in Endgame, so it was just her and Rocket left. So they were really close a lot of times. So there's a lot of things that you can see their relationship and blossom and stuff. There's a lot of details like that I liked a lot. I will say, I saw a review that said, "My bad for not knowing I had to watch 2 Avengers movie and a holiday special before seeing this." Guess guess that's my fault, I guess. I'm like, yeah, that kind of sucks because I made a TikTok about this, how there aren't really any MCU trilogies. I told you about this before too, and it's just kind of a thing. There's not really trilogies anymore. It's just kind of like if you can't watch 1 to 2 to 3 of any MCU trilogy.
Yeah,
you have to, and that kind of sucks. I think you can do Iron Man trilogy. The only thing that's actually a trilogy because you could watch 1 to 2 to 3 and it still makes sense.
I mean, 3
Like,
you have Avengers that took place before. His PTSD from that is a pretty central factor.
I know, but like that looks like, but it's if you watch those before, if you watch 1 to 2 to 3, it sets up of the whole number 2 is pretty much setting up the idea of the Avengers, and he comes back having done the Avengers. You can still watch those really in order and not really miss anything. And I mean, comparatively compared to everything else, this one you would miss a lot if you went to 2 to 3. They even have a scene in an elevator where they have to kind of recap what happened. It's a little bit too late. They should have done that early in the movie. But yeah, it's fun. I like Cosmo. Good dog.
Yes. I think my only 2 issues I had with it were the first one being everything kind of around Gamora. I don't think like her writing or anything was bad, very well performed and everything, but the kind of situation that Infinity War and Endgame kind of put Gunn into,
it's really awkward.
You can feel his frustration with it.
Yeah, they have no idea what to do with Gamora in this movie.
Yeah, I think by the end, I think like her conclusion, I think was good, but overall, I'm just like you can sense his frustration. And then the second thing is Adam Warlock. It felt more like Gunn put him in this because of like kind of fulfilling an obligation. It's just like I teased him at the end of Guardians 2, so I kind of had to put him in here. Like again, not written or badly performed or anything, but he just kind of keeps popping up in and out, and doesn't feel super necessary to the story. There are ways that he could have worked better, but
it is funny to me that they at the end they kind of do the creation of Adam, God and Adam moment.
Yeah.
But I agree. Adam Warlock was disappointing.
I like Will Poulter as the character. I think there's a lot of room for him, but just like in this, like he didn't feel super necessary.
One thing I liked about this movie is that it is, but for better or worse, an ending.
Yes.
I like finality in this never-ending series of movies and shows that'll never ever stop. Having things end is nice.
Yes, and obviously, we'll probably see, someone pop up like in Secret Wars or Kang Dynasty. Like that's how it's going to happen. But like as this team is and as this series is, it is over now, which I'm very happy with.
I also like having a villain that is not. He was kind of right.
Yeah, this is a villain of just like he is wrong from beginning to end, and he's just evil.
I will say, people who thought that finally he's not political. What do you think eugenics is? What do you think? What do you think is?
What do you like? This is so political.
Like all of comic books are political, but yeah. I think it's net good. I have more good than bad. I think I was underwhelmed overall. I'm glad I saw it. People who are annoyed at Chris Pratt in general, I think might come back to him more in this movie.
He does a very good job with him in this. I think it's because of how much Gunn has like let the character grow like over the series. Like he still feels the same, but you can tell like Star-Lord has matured, and it's very refreshing to see.
I don't want to. And this is not like an official discussion. Like we're not having like a whole main segment about this. So we already talked for an hour straight about news. So I'm just gonna say again briefly, I am nothing if not consistent. I don't flip. Josh flip-flops sometimes. I don't do that much. I can understand your Guardians 2 stuff, but how do you think the first one is perfect when Ronan is the most generic and boring villain that they could have chosen for it? I don't think Roland's important in the first one.
I don't think he kind of is.
No, I too high of a bar. I think it's pretty much perfect. Yeah, Ronan sucks, but like I don't think the villain matters. He's as much of a villain as a MacGuffin. Like it's not as important in that one. It's just an obstacle, and you could replace him with a plant, and it'd be fine. And I don't with a plant. I don't mean a group plant. I mean a different kind of plant. Like a ficus. I can get into more. I don't want to. We don't have time today, Josh.
I know. I was just confused.
For me, I don't think the villain is necessary. Like, it's necessary to have a villain, but like that, it's not really what it's about. It's about these strangers bonding and all this weird stuff happening, and I love the balance of tones in the movie. I love how refreshing it was. Like a lot of stuff with it. I think that number 2 undid a lot of stuff in the first one to me. I liked a lot. I also am kind of tired of the band of misfits. Fracture doesn't get along, but they have to come back. But by the end, they all work out the differences. That shouldn't have to happen 3 times.
I did not think that really happened here. Like there was moments of it, but I think overall it was far more consistent.
I would say a lot more, yes. I still have problems with it, but it's again, I'm not gonna get into it here. I can't get into it here. We don't have time today. I am nothing if not consistent. And I don't dislike Guardians 2. I think it's fine. I don't think there's a bad MCU film. I changed my mind since watching Thor: Love and Thunder. I think there's one bad MCU film.
I think there's one too, and mine is a Thor movie also, but not Love and Thunder.
Thor 2 is not bad, it's just fine. We'll discuss this again off air.
Oh no, it wasn't Thor 2, it was Thor 1.
You think Thor 1 is worse than Thor 2?
Oh yeah, it is a tonal mess. Like the comedy doesn't work, the action is boring and bad. The only good thing about it was the brotherly story between Thor and Loki, but most of it is stuck in Arizona with unfunny Natalie Portman and unfunny Kat Dennings. I'm just like, I hate everything.
First off, it's New Mexico.
Whatever, it's a desert.
And this is why we're friends, everyone. Josh and I don't give a shit about the other person's opinion in a mean way. We're like, that's cool, and move on. Thank you all so much for listening today. We are enjoying being back. Josh is gonna edit the next few episodes, probably while I catch up on a lot of stuff. I'll be out of town for about 10 days soon, so I will be a bit busy. So if things get delayed again, that's why. But we're really trying to get things back on track again. Next episode will be maybe Fast and Furious related. Who knows?
We'll find out.
Next time on Dragon Ball Z. Josh, where can people find you online?
Oh, I'm on the places. I'm still on Twitter, as some people are, at Jan_Rudy28. Instagram, Jan_Rudy16. YouTube at Josh Rudolph.
And you can find me online at Twitter at The Theater Nerd, and that's ER, not RE. And you can find me on TikTok and Instagram at That Nerd Theater. My film, No Endings, which we talked about before on the senior film episode, actually just won an award at a film festival.
Woo!
The festival is called Roma Short Film Festival, and the award was Best Actress. So congrats to Michelle Rizzo and, of course, the entire team working on the film, bringing it to life and getting it performance and all that stuff happening. That's great. I'm excited to show it to you all whenever I can, but festivals take a lot of time and a lot of money and, etc. You can email the show at podgeekspeak@gmail.com or tweet us at #GeekSpeakPod or just GeekSpeakPod on Twitter. All right. Thank you so much for listening. And remember, Josh is a floor hater, and that is well known.
This is, again, incorrect.
You can't stop me from spreading this lie. All right, see y'all.